Let me tell you something. There's a kind of war you never see coming. The kind that sneaks up right when you think you're finally safe, finally home. I learned that the hard way thanks to one entitled HOA president who thought she was untouchable. She had no idea who she was messing with or just how badly this was all going to blow back on her. So picture this. I'd been away for 3 days. Just 3 days out on a construction site in Denver. Nothing fancy, just a little work, a little travel, and the usual grind. I come home, and there it is. My Rolls Royce. My pride and joy. The thing I'd busted my back to afford just sitting there butchered. Chemical burns on the paint windshield shattered the word arrogant sprayed in angry red across the side door. The stench of industrial stripper hits me before I can even get close. It's like acid eating the finish, bubbling, hissing. And the rage just wells up in my gut, but I clamp down, keep my breathing steady. You learn to do that after 15 years in the service. This wasn't some punk kid with a grudge. No, this was surgical. Whoever did it wanted me to feel it. Tires slashed all around, seats gutted, dashboard mangled. Somebody took their sweet time. Not just wrecking a car, but wrecking a dream. And the worst part? They left their signature, a strand of platinum blonde hair snagged in the side mirror like a little flag. Real nice touch, right? Like they wanted me to know. I slipped the evidence into a bag, date, time, location, all written up military style. I take photos, wide shots, close-ups, the whole 9 yards. My boots crunch on the broken glass as I circle around, and my mind's running through every possible suspect, every motive, every inch of this war zone that used to be my driveway. I'll admit for a second my heart sank. That car wasn't just a toy, it was a symbol. Proof that a nobody from the sticks could make it. 15 years in the Army, then 5 more clawing my way up in construction. I'd wash that car by hand every Sunday. Not because I had to, but because I could. Because it meant something. And as I look up, I spot her. Right across the street behind those perfect curtains, sipping coffee and watching like some hawk waiting to see if her poison worked. Vivian Ashford, HOA president. The woman who made it her mission to turn my American dream into her own personal soap opera. She'd sized me up the day I moved in. 3rd day in the neighborhood there, she was all manicured, all designer labels, smiling that empty smile. She had the whole look, the platinum hair, the BMW, the portfolio, stuffed with regulations and helpful suggestions. She went on about property values, about my work truck, about how things were done around here. I tried to be polite. I really did. Even invited her in for coffee once she poured it straight into my flower bed and strutted off like she'd won something. That was the start. Then came the emails, fabricated violations, fake complaints, a new one every week. She measured my grass with a ruler. She complained about the color of my front door. She tried to shame me for parking my own truck in my own driveway. No matter what I did, it wasn't enough. She wanted control, total control, not cooperation, not community submission. You ever had a neighbor like that? The kind that just can't let it go. If you have, you know the feeling. Makes your blood boil, doesn't it? But here's the thing, I kept my cool. Documented every letter, every fine, every invented infraction. You don't survive the military without learning a thing or two about bureaucracy. It didn't stop there, though. She started digging background checks, calls to my clients, rumors about unstable veterans at community meetings. She even spread stories that I had PTSD meltdowns, that I was dangerous, that my construction company was a front for something shady. Parents started pulling their kids away when I walked by. Folks who used to wave now looked right through me. Even the Johnsons' nice couple brought me cookies my first week crossed the street instead of saying hello. Then the legal letters started. Certified, full of threats about lawsuits and safety concerns, all based on lies. I checked every code, every ordinance. Nothing matched, she just made it up as she went. When I called the city to confirm, the clerk laughed and said half her violations weren't even real laws. That's when I knew this was all a power trip. It got worse. Police reports about me started piling up, suspicious activity, made up noise complaints, weapon storage. She stalked my house, took pictures, questioned neighbors about my schedule. She was looking for a way to get me out anyway, but she forgot something. I'd been in real war zones. This was just another mission. So I flipped the script. Upgraded my security, hidden cameras, motion sensors, cloud backups, everything by the book. I called my lawyer. Camden Cross property disputes and HOA nightmares were his bread and butter. He walked me through every step. Every file, every call, every ridiculous citation got logged, time-stamped, backed up. I wasn't going down without a fight. And then she overplayed her hand. At the next HOA meeting, she tried to push a ban on home security cameras right after I'd installed mine. She said it was for privacy. I stood up cool as ice and read the state law out loud, word for word. Cameras on your own property, totally legal. She sputtered, switched to personal attacks, and the whole room saw her mask crack. Folks who'd backed her before started shifting in their seats, suddenly less sure whose side they were on. When the meeting ended, she cornered me outside, voice low, eyes wild. She said, "Some problems can't be solved with legal technicalities." She said people who made her life difficult had accidents. I just smiled, held up my phone, recording the whole thing. "Smile, Vivian. You're the star of the show." She flinched, and for the first time I saw fear in her eyes. That night I double-checked my defenses. Everything locked down tight, cameras, armed footage streaming straight to the cloud. I slept easy until my watch buzzed at 2:47 a.m. Perimeter breach, driveway, motion detected. I grabbed my phone, pulled up the live feed. There she was, crouched by my car, all black clothes, latex gloves, a canvas bag full of tools. Her BMW parked 3 blocks down. She thought she was clever. I called 911, gave them everything. Address description, live updates as she went to work. She sprayed that ugly red word on my car, dumped chemical stripper, shattered the windshield, slashed the tires, gutted the seats. Pure malice, pure pleasure on her face. She really thought she'd won. But the cameras caught every second. The gloves, the tools, the look on her face when she heard the sirens. She ran, but not far. I stepped outside, phone glowing in the dark. We locked eyes. I told her loud enough for her to hear, "Smile for the camera, Vivian." Her face twisted triumph, melting into terror. Police swept in, took my statement, watched the footage. Officer Rodriguez looked at me, looked at her house, and shook his head, said it was the most airtight case he'd ever seen. They arrested her before sunrise, dragged her out in front of the whole neighborhood. Her husband stood there in pajamas, stunned, watching everything fall apart. The damage to my car. Over 300 grand. Felony territory. She was charged on the spot. Destruction of property, criminal mischief, environmental violations. The media got wind. HOA president arrested in felony vandalism scandal. Her life unraveled in record time. Divorce lost, club memberships, friends gone, reputation shredded. But you know the part that stuck with me. Even after all that, she couldn't let go. She called me crying, begging, then threatening. Swore she'd ruin me, burn my house down, make me pay. I logged every call, handed them to the cops. Bail revoked, locked up again. No more drama, just cold justice. Her trial was quick, 3 days, all evidence on display. 8 years in state prison, assets seized for restitution. The HOA reformed, new president, new rules, real oversight. Neighbors apologized, some even baked pies. The fear lifted. Life got back to normal, maybe even better than before. I kept the cameras up, but now they just record the quiet. Kids playing delivery trucks, nothing more. Sometimes I wonder, how does someone fall so far so fast? Is it pride, jealousy, the illusion of control? Maybe all of it. Here's what I learned: patience beats rage. Discipline wins over desperation. You don't have to go looking for a fight. Sometimes you just have to stand your ground, let the truth do the heavy lifting. Justice doesn't always need fireworks. Sometimes it's just paperwork and waiting out the storm. So let me ask you, if you'd been in my shoes, would you have fought back the same way? Or do you think there's a point where you just walk away and start fresh somewhere else? Ever dealt with a neighbor like Vivian, or had to defend yourself against someone with too much power and not enough sense? Drop your story. I want to hear it. Because in the end, these little wars, these battles for respect, for peace, for home, they shape us as much as any victory or defeat. And who knows, maybe your story will be the next lesson in karma that the world needs to hear.